one of the things that was most surprising to me was how little they talked about the reservations, especially considering how huge they were for this time. I also have somewhat of a small connection to the reservation life a little bit. Not me personally, but my great-grandmother on my dad's side, my great-grandma Wallace, she was 100% Native American. We have no idea what tribe, but I do know that she was born and raised on an Indian reservation for the longest time before they eventually escaped it because it was so horrible for them. She rarely opened up about it, but I did hear little snippets when she was in the hospital beginning to pass on. She did kind of open up a little bit more about how horrible it was on those reservations and all that kind of thing. That was really surprising because they did not go over just how brutal those were. And especially for Native Americans around that time, just how horrible they had it just in general. One thing that's also surprised me was how little they talked about John Moses Browning. I'm pretty sure they might bring him up in this next chapter, but he is behind some of the most widely used firearms known to man. He's worked with Winchester. He worked with a whole bunch of companies and made many, many iconic firearms of this time. I'm pretty sure he also worked with Colt a little bit. They also didn't talk a whole heck of a lot about Colt. I can't remember the guy's name who started it, but he was also, really influential at this time. The Peacemaker, the Navy revolver, so many iconic firearms at this time, and many of which are worth a huge amount of money if they've been maintained and if they have, not been used a whole heck of a lot, which is really hard considering that when you bought a rifle, a shotgun, or a pistol at that time, you were using it semi-daily or daily, and you were taking it with you wherever you went. And even though I may not really look like it, we guesstimate, from my dad's guesstimation on his Ancestry DNA test, it came back 13.7%. So I'm roughly about 6.5% Native American. But like I said, I'd like to share some more stories, but unfortunately my great-grandmother passed on and she never really opened up a whole lot about that. And when she did open up, I was really young and I wasn't really listening and paying attention. I caught brief snippets, but not as much as I wish I did have, so I could have learned more about what it was truly like. But when they left the reservation, it was worlds better.